Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. I am the Outlaw, John Rocha, joined as always now by my special guest out there in St. Louis, Alex Shashek. How are you?
AKA the superior host, of the show. But just kidding.
Wait a minute. What?
Superior. No. So it was a great weekend, Father's Day weekend and everything.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited to actually be out and about doing stuff. So can't be out here.
You're burnt a little bit. You tell me off camera. You're burnt a little bit.
I'm a little toasty. Like if you look at this, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A little farmer's tan action.
Yeah, I was going. Well, the thing is, I'm Asian and I never burn. However, I've been indoors a lot lately.
Okay.
So I wonder why,
Oh,
and as a result, this happens. What can I do?
You get pasty and your skin doesn't quite get used to the sun. I totally respect that. And now you're burnt.
Yes.
So SPF 50 is always good. I always say SPF 50, if you can find it, is the way to go.
Well, as an esthetician, I would probably not go with SPF 50, but I hear you. I see what you're doing.
Wait, you're an esthetician? I didn't know that. Is that
That's
something
my job.
you do?
Yeah, I'm an esthetician. So I'm a skin specialist essentially. And so facial microneedling, dermaplaning, microblading, all that fun stuff, chemical peels, it's definitely my wheelhouse.
All of that stuff. Fascinating. Okay. Yeah, well, it might surprise you to know, but I've never done any of that stuff, and still smooth.
My dude,
smooth.
You're on camera. Let's exfoliate the skin.
It might be the way to go. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here live this morning on Mornings with the Outlaw. I see so many of you already jumping in here. Please remember to hit that like button for us, but also hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day weekend. It's always a tough day for people who have lost their fathers, so I hope those of you who are in the camp like I am found a way to celebrate and honor and remember the great times you had with your father. And if you are still with your dad, I hope you had a great time and give him a call and had a fun conversation with him. And if you're maybe estranged from your father, maybe this is just another Sunday, and I hope you had a good day. So there you go. I'll throw all that out there, all those possibilities for sure. So shout out to everybody who's in the chat here as well. Don't forget, we have the Streamlabs and Super Chats up. It's a Monday morning. Come and get us, come and help us start the week off really, really fine with some good Super Chats, some good Streamlabs here to send us on to the rest of the day. Alex, we got so much to talk about. Let's just jump into it right off the bat. And the Kingsman trailer is really the thing that a lot of people are talking about now this morning. What a fantastic trailer. Some people saying, I totally forgot this movie's even coming out. But this is how you get people to wake up again and get back into being excited about your movie. This thing stars Ralph Fiennes and a number of fantastic actors like Daniel Bruhl, Tom Hollander, Rhys Ifans, Harris Dickinson, Gemma Arterton, Jamin Hansu, Matthew Good, and Charles Dance, all involved in the Kingsman. And we saw this. I think this is the third trailer we've seen, because there was a one trailer, then there was a second trailer. It's the third trailer. The official log line of the trailer says a collection of history's worst tyrants and criminal masterminds gather to plot a war to wipe out millions. We certainly see Rasputin, the mad monk, up in this thing, played by Rhys Ifans. And for those who don't know Rhys Ifans, think of Notting Hill, think of Spider-Man. He plays the lizard in Spider-Man. And this trailer was different than the ones we had before, Alex. There was felt a bit more funnier, but more Disney-ified, for lack of a better term. But certainly, the action sequences were pretty fantastic. What did you think overall?
Going into this, I was really curious to see if I would like it, because I remember when the first teaser and trailer came out, I wasn't super impressed, to be honest. Yeah, and I was just like, we don't really need one. I don't want to. Is Taron Egerton in it? No. Is Colin Farrell? Not Colin Farrell. But the other Colin involved.
Colin Firth, yeah.
Colin Firth, tomato. Tomato, tomato. You know what I meant. But so going into, I was just like, well, my favorite characters aren't in it. We don't want it all that much. It wasn't really demanding of it, but also the Golden Circle was really hit or miss for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that really love it, but I personally wasn't a fan of it. I felt like there was a misuse of some of the characters and actors. I was really sad about not more Channing Tatum. I was like, what happened to him with all the promos he did? But anyway, going back to this movie, I was like, are they actually going to do it? Why? Is there a demand? But seeing this trailer, I was like, okay, you have my ticket, Disney. I think maybe whoever has it right now.
Yeah, I know it's Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really excited to see this trailer. Not to mention, I love the emphasis, much more emphasis on the on the villain side of this, story more than anything.
Yeah, Rasputin was a mystic who gained considerable influence in the court of Tsar Nicholas II. He was assassinated by a group of nobles in 1916, but apparently legend has it that it took a number of attempts to finally end up killing Rasputin. So he has taken on this kind of mystical, otherworldly, supernatural, vibe in a lot of people's minds when they talk about Rasputin throughout, history in the books and what have you. Also, we saw Rasputin, I think, in Anastasia, right? Wasn't he the villain in Anastasia as well? So
yes,
that animated film. So certainly Rasputin still being talked about in 2020. So whatever he did certainly worked. And we're still talking about him a century later, Alex. So there you go.
Well, a lot of these characters they're not based on real characters in history. They're not based off of real actual situations. So they're really kind of someone they do know that still has a lot of emphasis till this day is definitely Rasputin. He's even if no matter where you're from, how old you are, you're familiar with who Rasputin is a little bit. So it's really kind of awesome to see him kind of be involved with this. Like you said, he supposedly was tried to be assassinated like 20 times. Yeah. He was supposed to be like poisoned. He was dropped off of like a 20-story building. He was drowned at several times, and in different like super duper icy lakes. And somehow it just keeps creeping back. And so it sounds like we're getting maybe not so much like a mythical aspect of it, but maybe we're going to see much more behind the scenes of what makes him so not magical, but see it a little bit behind the curtain, essentially.
Certainly, and you got a whole table of people, so certainly there's some kind of group conspiracy going on there. The trailer says this is what Ray says in the trailer, we are the first independent intelligence agency, refined but brutal, civilized but merciless. And this actually stepping out of the trailer. Here's the things that I put as highlights, right? Jaume Hansu is still in incredible shape. Got to give him a shout out there. Gemma Arterton, give me some more Gemma Arterton. I've always been a fan of hers, right, for the last few years. So I love her as an addition to this film. There are vibes of Sherlock Holmes here, the Guy Ritchie approach to things here. There's even some Wonder Woman stuff. When the bomb happens, the explosion, he gets shoved through the door or whatever. All of that feels very. And then Ray Fiennes is essentially the lead. Ray Fiennes, not a spring chicken here, but essentially. Yeah, right. Neither was Colin Firth. True. So this is, I thought this was fantastic for that. And you got to see some more of the film, some more of what might be happening, what the plot will be. Rasputin apparently has been trained in numerous fighting styles. So already it's a tongue-in-cheek, fun approach to the Kingsman yet again. And this is a prequel. Matthew Vaughn spoke about how he might be going more deeper into the Kingsman universe. He might not be done. He said, I think there's a story in my head which will be finished by the end of the next one. He was speaking to CBR.com there and said then after that, then of course there could be Statesman movies. There you go, Alex, your Channing Tatum spinoff. There could be spinoff character films. The universe could continue with new agents, or Colin Firth could become Arthur, or new characters could come in, or new kids could get trained. There's so many options, but I also think it's better not to be too greedy. Of course, this is being released under the auspices of Disney. It was a 20th Century Fox franchise. Now it's 20th Century under Disney. So maybe Disney influenced the look of this trailer, the approach of this trailer. But overall, you said this gets you back into being excited for this film coming out. And it will be coming out in September in the theaters. It says it very clearly on the trailer. So both those things, Alex, address that. Your feelings overall about the trailer, and then that it got you back into it. And second, does this bode well for theaters opening up here?
Well, something I was a little curious about is that, this movie in particular, I watched it a few times back to back, and just to really kind of gauge my feelings. Yeah. And first time I was like, yeah. The second time I watched it, wait, because something kind of hit me. I was like, there's a line he said where he's like, well, we are the leaders of the world. He said, it was like a line was said something along that time. And this is obviously, it's a British story. Yep. And so pretty much it's about how these international villains, essentially, they have like this villain club, essentially. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to make all these countries fight each other and we're going to get rich. Mustache twirling situation. That's fabulous. Daniel Brühl, what's up?
Daniel Brühl?
Particularly fantastic. Yeah. But it kind of, after like watching it a few times, I was just like, wait, so we're just going to have he used a few words saying that we are like the leaders of the world and we have to save it. So we're having the British white group save the world, essentially. Again,
what do you mean? Do you mean the Kingsman? Because I mean, you've got Jemma Hansu in there as well, so not fully white.
One character, right. And it's one character, but there was like a handful of there's like a handful of words. I think it was really, I don't feel like it was the best worded. Like they said, we are not, we are civilized, we are not savage, and I was just like, that was just an interesting word use, for that line. And I get where they're coming from. I don't think it was anything obviously intentional or anything, but considering British history and how a lot of people are right now talking about how they need to rewrite British history. Yeah. And, is a really kind of a weird situation. And right now in particular, because I mean, I feel like every time I open up, my news apps or anything along those lines, Britain in particular is kind of in a weird situation right now. So I know manners maketh man. That's totally fine. I love that. But the lines, we are not savage. We are this civilized people.
Okay. I don't remember hearing that necessarily, Alex. The quote is refined but brutal, civilized but merciless.
Yeah.
So I don't know necessarily if that's but I don't know if this, I may have to go back and watch it again. I don't recall them saying savage necessarily about other people, but certainly you can make a case, because it's Britain coming down and trying to enforce their idea of what's right and what's wrong in the world against a Russian mad monk. So I don't know, to be honest with you. That's a take I didn't look at with the trailer, but certainly could be there.
Maybe I also completely thought I heard it and it was just like a throwaway, who knows? Right. I know that sometimes happens a lot. I do understand that this is considered a period film, and I recognize that obviously in the language and everything. But at the same time, it is being released today, so it's meant for international audiences. So we have to, take that in consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and exactly. And you've got an international cast for sure from people from numerous countries. And you're right, the time period that it's set, you could argue, that it's it's very provincial in the look, but look at Wonder Woman. That's set before World War II, or was it? No, World War One rather.
The Great War.
Right around the same time. And she's got a pretty multicultural group of people around her as well. So it's just, you can make the cases overall that maybe this could have been, the Kingsman could have been a little more diverse in its approach. I wouldn't fault you on that point of view at all. Certainly not. But yeah, we'll see what happens in September. This thing comes out there. For right now, it's been moved a couple of times already, but it is now officially coming out in September. So hopefully it will, be an enjoyable film, and maybe it'll address some of that, what you're talking about within the film itself. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they've changed some things around, shoot some stuff. We shall see. All right, let's move on. We got a quick Streamlab here that rolled through for us, Alex. It's from Jay Scotty for real. It says, "Morning, Outlaw and Shotgun Shashek. The Kingsman trailer renewed my interest in the spy film. Upon looking up the announced cast, I noticed Aaron Taylor Johnson has been cast as Lee Unwin. The character was previously portrayed by Jono Davies. Thoughts?" Oh, really good question. All right, let's see. Do you know anything about this, Alex?
No. What is this? Okay. I'm familiar.
He is Eggsy's father. That's who Lee Unwin is Eggsy's father, and a Kingsman trainee for the position of Lancelot. He was portrayed by Jono Davies before, so maybe Aaron Taylor Johnson, if that's correct, is playing Eggsy's father. But judging from the time, his father necessarily, I don't think his father would necessarily be involved in this. I think it would be, he would probably maybe be born by the tail end of this movie, it seems like.
Yeah. Or maybe it would be like where at the time where Eggsy's father is born, it could be like Ray Fiennes' character. He's like an old man, and he's like, send in the new potential recruits. And he's just like casually walking in or something. I know, and he's like, "What's up?"
Yeah, I mean, if Ray Fiennes survives, we shall see. Maybe Ray Fiennes is his grandfather, Eggsy's grandfather. That's certainly possible as well, So we shall see down the road what happens there. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it overall. So thank you for that, Streamlabs, Chase Guided for real. Just to remind you, Streamlabs are open. Super chats are open. Send your question in. Send your comments in. Let's read them and have some fun this Monday morning. All right, let's move on to our second story, Alex. This one is The Batman. Peter Sarsgaard had some comments about The Batman. He is, of course, going to be in this upcoming Matt Reeves film. He was talking to THR, and he opened up with some more details about the film and about his character, District Attorney Gil Colson. He said he looks amazing, talking about Robert Pattinson as the Batman and his performance and the filming process. He looks amazing. I have to say, he really, really does. The work he was doing was really cool. I really dug his Batman, and I can't wait to see it on screen. I think he's a very interesting actor, and I loved him in the Safdie Brothers movie, Good Time, that he did. And I actually really liked this one he just did, the comedy movie with Willem Dafoe, The Lighthouse. He's just an interesting actor. All right, let's take this quote first, and we've got another quote to go over here. Alex, do you think The Lighthouse is a comedy? And did you see it?
It's definitely a black comedy. I did.
For sure.
I haven't seen the entire thing, but I saw like 3/4 of it.
Okay.
But I definitely thought there was moments where it was definitely dark comedy. It's weird, and I appreciated that. I can't like watch that and feel like it never felt like super dramatic to me.
Right.
But it was just like a lot of fart jokes and
man stuff. It was a lot of man stuff, that's for sure.
And a story about two men isolated on an island. Of course, it's about man stuff.
I'm just saying, you're going to have those things come up. And it's a very interesting movie. Thoroughly enjoyed the cinematography of
Gorgeous.
that film. And the look of it all, and with the story that it told. But I don't know necessarily if I'd call it a comedy. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe a black comedy. If in that way, I don't recall laughing at any point through the movie. I remember just maybe smiles a couple times or smirks. But overall, just being like, what am I watching? That was the overall feeling I had about this. But this just speaks to the affection and respect that Robert Pattinson is getting amongst actors who are known for doing independent film, creating complex layered characters. If they're looking at what Robert Pattinson is doing and they're complimenting him for his performance, for his work, for his approach to the character, that speaks volumes about the kind of Batman and the kind of film we're going to get in the Batman, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, reading this article, I was really excited just because, Peter Sarsgaard is one of those actors that he's an actor's actor.
Yeah.
And he's very respected within Hollywood as well as the theater community. And, and I feel like Robert Pattinson, he's definitely become one of those actors recently, aside from, Twilight and everything, but he's more than made up for it. So if anyone brings up Twilight again, I will virtual smack you. But he's definitely fantastic. He's very he's not recognized as a really great indie actor. Robert Pattinson is, but I think he's getting this praise from someone like Peter, that we all recognize as this is a pretty dope dude.
Absolutely.
But he said nothing but really great things. But some of the other news about that he mentioned, he's like, we filmed 80% and we have 20% left to do, kind of thing, was honestly a little more interesting to me. Because
his quote was, and I'll have you take this forward. He said, God, I'm just hoping that we can go back soon and finish shooting it. It's much harder with a big movie to get back to it and finish it. It's hard to even think about anything else with it. I'm about 80% done with my part, so I would just like to do the last 20%. So go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to me because he really, he not only does he talk about, he looks amazing. I have to say he really, really does, a lot of that good stuff. But at the same time, he really talks about previously that, there's some mention that, he's rumored to be Two-Faced because there's a picture that came out on his wife's Instagram of her shaving his head. Trimming his hair, and he's like, no, that doesn't mean anything. It was just me hanging out with my kids, essentially. But he also mentions that, I can find the exact quote, not only are we going back to shoot it, but we're but it's much harder, not only much harder to do with a big movie, but
Yeah.
also he just keeps talking about how he loved him with the other Robert Pattinson be with the Safdie brothers, Brothers
Yeah.
Good Time. And I really liked what he did, the comedy with him with Love Bow, obviously. But he just keeps like mentioning that he's excited to almost wrap up this movie. And he seems everything he's saying about Pattinson is not only praising him, but it feels very surface level.
Mhm.
Like we're not going to expect to get very many details about the movie. But at the same time, it feels like he doesn't actually get any on-screen time with him as Batman. I feel like he's only getting screen time with him as Bruce Wayne right now.
Yeah. No. It's a fair point, and we'll see how much screen time he does get, and we'll see if those rumors about it being Two-Face might stand up. I mean, Two-Face was a district attorney in some of the retellings of the story. Other retellings have him being a very dear friend of Bruce Wayne since they were teenagers. So there's connections here with Harvey Dent to play with. Maybe Harvey Dent is Gil Colson's made-up name for Two-Face when he becomes Two-Face. So maybe they're messing with that mythology a little bit. Certainly possible in that way. And maybe he's the one that gets acid thrown in his face and not Harvey. Maybe there is a Harvey Dent, but it's Gil Colson who ends up becoming Two-Face because he's assistant district attorney, not the district attorney. So who knows? All of it could be in play. But, this goes along with the stuff that Paul Dano said recently. Andy Serkis said recently. Andy Serkis told LAD Bible, he said, it's very much about the emotional connection between Alfred and Bruce. That's really at the center of it. And it is a really exquisite script that Matt has written. So this the film, of course, includes Robert Pattinson, then Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Jeffrey Wright is in this as Commissioner Gordon, Paul Dano as the Riddler, Andy Serkis as Alfred, and John Turturro is in this as well. I think he's playing one of the Falcone or something like that.
Falcone.
Yeah, Falcone. So you're seeing all of this, all these great character actors coming into the film. So certainly Matt Reeves knows what he's doing with the casting, and the script seems to be representative of the kind of people he's casting as well. It's not an overblown, large, massive epic. It's actually probably going to be a bit of a smaller take on Batman, but just delivered on a larger palette. So I'm looking forward to it to see what it, and Sarsgaard's comments just make me more excited about it. And he's right. Like this idea of like breaking the rhythm can be tough to go back to finish a big film, especially because everyone's on board and everyone's going forward. You know how it is. Once you're on a roll, and all of a sudden the roll stops, or you take a break. That's why you have timeouts in sports. You're trying to stop momentum. You're trying to stop the other team being on a roll. You hope the timeout is enough. But with this, nobody wanted the timeout to come. And now that it's come, can they pick up the rhythm again and finish this thing off? We shall see, Alex.
Yeah, it was really funny as well that Robert Pattinson, he's been posting a lot of videos and pictures on Twitter and on Instagram, just showing his diet, and he's very vocal about he's not keeping up with his workout regimen like requested. And he's like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm not gonna, and we don't know when we're going back. It could be tomorrow, it could be next year. We have no clue. And so I'm not gonna put myself through that anguish and pain in order to make myself look beautiful for you. On the hopes we're gonna still do this movie in a reasonable time. And I'm like, respect, Pattinson. I respect that. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, how long can you stay ready to shoot a film when you don't know when you're going to shoot a film? Yeah, you can peak too early. Your body can let you down. All of that is in play if you don't take care of it correctly. So I totally respect Robert taking his time with the workout. Once they say, okay, now we have a time that we're going to restart, then he can adjust his workouts and get back into the gym and do his thing. Certainly that's fair. All right, we got a quick super chat that came through. Ben Rayner said, never had problems with our pets. Never saw Twilight. Loved him in The Goblet of Fire. Haven't seen him in anything. Well, Ben, there's a bunch of things you can go see him in for sure, right?
Yeah, tons of stuff available on Netflix. Rover, Good Time, and not High Life. What is that one? Space One recently came out. Last year.
Yeah, with him and his daughter.
Yes, I can't remember what it's called, but it's really, really fantastic. It's a really great sci-fi, film. Really creepy. kind of low-key has kind of alien vibes aesthetically a little bit. But there's tons of stuff out there. You don't really need to like buy the movie in order to see it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I think recommend it if you can.
You were right, Alex. It's High Life. It's called High Life.
It is High Life?
Yeah, the one with him and his daughter. Yeah, good job.
Nice.
There you go. Put her in the showdown right now.
I'm pretty much a double belter. No.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yikes. All right. Well, we've got 127 of y'all watching us right now, but only 64 likes. Please swing that cursor button over, hit that like button or swing the mouse over and hit that like button for us or the thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate it. Get us closer to 100 likes as soon as possible and start marching towards 150 likes if we can. All right. Let's move on to our next story, Alex. Let me see what I got on the rundown here. Oh, yeah. Well, somebody learned their lesson, I guess. Enough public furor gets people upset, gets them focused, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, we do require masks now. Oh, AMC, way to go. Way to figure it out, guy. None of the three major chains, this is coming to us from a number of outlets here. AMC has really kind of moved on here from the comments that they made last week about this idea that they're not going to go into this political side of things and try to force people to wear masks. They released a new statement to the Hollywood Reporter about it. It looks like they've changed their minds. Regal and Cinemark were also not requiring customers to wear their masks, but AMC, you can argue, is of course a larger chain, so a larger footprint there. When they said something, people noticed. So they released a statement that said, at AMC, we've been consulting with top scientists and health experts to create a broad, sweeping, far-reaching health and safety effort to make AMC theaters safe for our guests and associates when our theaters reopen on July 1st. Among many elements of that comprehensive plan was a requirement for our associates all to wear masks nationwide, as well as a requirement for our guests all to wear masks in parts of the country that will require it. In those areas of the country where masks will not be required, we nonetheless plan to strongly encourage mask usage by guests and fully expected that the vast majority would do so. So kind of like saying, hey, guys, you knew what we meant all along, trying to take away a little bit of the blame from the comments they made last week. And that guy has been stepping in it all through. He got picking a fight with Universal Studios over the Trolls World Tour situation, and now really stepping out of this company was almost bankrupt, Alex. And this CEO, Adam Aaron, he seems to be making a lot of mistakes here. And here's another one that he's trying to walk back and kind of make it seem as if we should have understood what he was really saying and read between the lines of what he was really saying. What do you think about this statement?
I definitely, I think it's, he has to do what he has to do. I mean, like, I am glad that they are making masks required.
Yeah.
They're going to be starting to not fine them, but so you can pay for $1 for a mask. I think that's the price.
Yeah. If you don't bring one, they'll give you a mask for $1. Yeah.
Exactly. So right now it's just like they're just trying to cover their tuchuses, and I respect that. And because at this point they're just desperate to get people in the theater. They're not focusing on concessions or anything like that. It seems like just because if they're going to be talking about, oh, you can still get your popcorn and your soda or your candy or whatever, they would have to like have that moment like where the mask is like off. And so I am kind of curious to see whether or not they're actually going to be, not having snacks or anything at the theater. But honestly, that's like one of the only ways they can make money. But right now, more than ever, they're just desperate to get people in the theater. They do have a few big movies coming out, in the summer. I can't believe it's already like the summer. And, at the end of July. And so they're just not only desperate for people to get in, but they're also desperate for people to get comfortable, just start that process to get comfortable. And that maybe like 3 or 4 months after people started going to the theater, maybe at that time they're going to be comfortable enough to possibly eat food, and start making money again, because they're not going to make money for a very long time. Let's be honest.
Well, probably not. Yeah. And he said, he went further on the statement to touch on your point, Alex. It is clear from the response that we had earlier that we did not go far enough on the usage of masks. At AMC Theaters, we think it is absolutely crucial that we listen to our guests accordingly, and with the full support of our scientific advisors, we are reversing course and are changing our guest mask policy. As we reopen theaters, we will now require that all AMC guests nationwide wear masks as they enter and enjoy movies at our theaters. The speed with which AMC moved to revise our mask policies is a reflection of our commitment to the safety and health of our guests. We will constantly monitor the scientific community's latest thinking as to the efficiency or efficacy of mask usage. We also will be looking at the varying health conditions in specific localities around our theaters all across the country. This will help us determine what our mask policy will be going forward. Guests coming to our theaters, as you said, Alex, here earlier, will bring their own masks, of course, but if they do not have one, you can get one at the box office for a nominal $1 price. Those who are unwilling to wear a mask will not be admitted or allowed to stay. And now this is an interesting point on the heels of that video I saw over the weekend of two gentlemen from Walmart having to escort a obstinate, stubborn, aggressive, argumentative older man who did not want to leave the Walmart when they told him he could not come in because he was not wearing a mask. This kind of ridiculousness going around in the country is just super frustrating to see, the amount of anger that people are getting over wearing a mask. And I just find this to be ridiculous, to be honest with you. I would love to go to a movie theater as long as everyone is wearing a mask and they're practicing social distancing. What's the big deal? I don't know why people make such a massive deal about this. It's ridiculous.
This is the U.S., and we don't like being told what to do.
But we like to tell other people what to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Which is ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
I say that, you know, with I say that with love. You know, I love living here.
Yeah,
and it is stressful and annoying AF sometimes. But it is pretty much a visual representation of, you know, for example, people that don't, you know, vaccine. You know,
Right.
I'm choosing not to vaccine. So I'm choosing not to vaccine, even though it could not only harm my child, but it could, you know, harm other people as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you know what? I don't care about you guys. I don't want to do it because of my own personal reasons.
Right.
You know, because it's a government conspiracy or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
bollocks it is. So it is ridiculous, but you know, so I am really kind of curious to see this play out. I do think it's, you know, it's smart that they really quickly, they realize real fast, AMC is like, hey, you know what, screw it. You know, you guys are right. And I respect that. I love it when companies are just like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
I wish that happened more. You know,
Yeah.
it sucks when they try to stick to their guns and, you know, upon valuations, you know, they're like, you know what, okay, we'll make the changes, whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
So, and it's very state to state. So,
yeah, and I know there's going to be people who are going to show up in some of those states and they're going to want to fight with these young kids or these young people working at this, mostly young people working at these AMC theaters, and they think they'll be able to bully them. They think they'll be able to grandstand on camera for attention for themselves. And this is what concerns me, right? Beyond just the policy being, and I'm happy that it got reversed. And I think that's fantastic. And it's certainly that shows you the level of moviegoers, the number of moviegoers who reached out to kind of put the onus back on AMC, right, to make them reverse course.
Yeah.
Exactly, on social media and what have you. So hopefully that's the predominant number of people that are going to be mask wearers, and they'll enforce the rules themselves in certain moments when they see someone not wearing a mask. I can't wait, and you know it's going to happen. I can't wait till that mother shows up with 5 kids refusing to wear the mask and have them refusing to wear the masks, and you know, gets into the fight with the manager, gets into the fight with the public attendant, and that stuff honestly needs to stop, and it should be enforced. I think it should be enforced by local officials. If a person shows up and you say you cannot enter without wearing a mask, and you try to enter, you are trespassing. At that point, you are violating the law and you should be arrested. It's simple as that. I just really think they have forced the issue to the point where I think the police needs to be involved in this situation and arresting people who are violating personal edicts by businesses, small businesses or big businesses that have a right to refuse service to people or require things for service. Nobody walks in without shoes in most locations, or without a shirt in most locations. You know what I'm saying? It's just that situation where if it's required, it's required. And if you want to enjoy what I have to sell you or what I have to show you, then you have to meet the requirements. It's just that simple. I don't see what the problem is.
It is, I don't see the problem either, but again, people don't like being told what to do. Maybe if we did some reverse psychology and be like, you know what, now actually no one can wear masks.
Yeah.
And here, suddenly everyone will want to wear masks, including
right.
including like the weenies out there, that don't want to wear masks, that refuse to wear masks anywhere.
Yeah,
so honestly, who knows? Maybe that's they need to do, and they're just like,
yeah,
just wait. That's gonna be the situation.
yeah. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. It's just arrogance. It's arrogant defiance that you think you can tell a business what they can. They are allowed to do to you or not. Like, it's your choice to come into the business. It's their choice to tell you what you need to do to come into the business. So it's just ridiculous on so many levels. So hopefully, I feel bad for the employees who are gonna have to deal with this stuff, and we will in July. See those stupid little videos, and it's so frustrating. But hopefully, there's some kind of logic in this situation at some point. Anyway, all right. Well, let's take a quick break here and talk about the stuff and plug the things that we got going on. Alex, what's going on in your world?
We are going into for Schmobates over the call to action. There you go.
Oh, look at you repping. Nice.
I know. Crazy. We are going to be wrapping up very quickly. We have only 2 more matches to really finalize the Schmobate tournament. So definitely stay tuned for that. Next match is going to be between Danielle Ramirez and William the Beast Bibiani. So it's going to be a real fun time. Yeah. And, we're going to be moving on from there to determine who's going to walk away with the Schmobate belt for our first ever Tournament of Champions. Also, over at this little podcast are available where all podcasts are found, even including audio. Also for there's a show I co-host called Cinema Bias with Video Drew on her channel. If you're not familiar with it, definitely check it out. It's a fun time. We dive into our personal biases that we may have when it comes to movies. So movies that we might have been more likely to grow up with, or movies we're more likely to avoid as well. I gotta know, what are some of your biases growing up? Did you grow up like movies like you kind of discovered maybe a genre or director later in life or anything like those lines?
Yeah, I never had a proclivity for horror, so certainly that was an issue for me. And so that was
still do? Really?
No, that's what I mean. I mean, I've grown out of that, and I watch more horror now over the last 30 years than I did the previous and when I was growing up. So it's like that. It wasn't certainly the thing I ran to. I would occasionally watch the big one, like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. But I avoided most of the slasher stuff, and just wasn't my jam. It wasn't until horror got kind of specific about what it was trying to do that I came back into it. More philosophical horror, more psychological terror. That's the stuff that I enjoy. Yeah, social thrillers, or even some supernatural stuff can be fun to enjoy if it's done well. So that's a genre I certainly did not jump into too much growing up, and that has changed. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. When it comes to those biases are real, and we all have them.
Yeah.
But a lot of us don't realize we have them until we're looking back at our movie list or whatever. And we're like, wait, I haven't seen a single rom-com this year, or I haven't seen a single period film or a single horror film or action adventure or whatever it may be, at all. And so it's kind of fun to really kind of dive into that and figure out why we have them, or, how we can, be better film watchers.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good show.
But you're going to be on it. You're going to be on it here actually tomorrow for Rosemary's Baby. So.
Am I tomorrow?
I thought it was tomorrow.
I don't know if it's tomorrow. Let's talk about it after the show. Yeah, I don't know if it's tomorrow. But we got
remember. Maybe it's next Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe it's next Tuesday. Because I host the Outlaw Nation show on Tuesday night, so that would be weird that I would say yes to that. But let's take a look at that. The super chat came in. Learn it, know it, live it. That's about the mask. Absolutely, J Dog. Appreciate it. Thanks, J Dog, for watching. By the way, good to see you in here. Good to see everybody in here. We got over 160 people in here, but we've got only 88 likes. Come on, gang, swing that mouse button over there and hit that thumbs up button. Hit that like button on this video. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're watching later, hit that like button as well. We'd appreciate that very much on the Outlaw Nation. As for the stuff I got going on, all right, sit back, relax. We got so much going on in the Outlaw Nation. Let me drop it first. And speaking of the Outlaw Nation show, let me make that announcement first. Tomorrow night on the Outlaw Nation show from 6 to about 8:30, That's the man right there. Mike Kalinowski, the killer,
Yes.
KO. He is coming on the show. One of my friends for over 20 years. It's going to be exciting to have him on the show, talk about what's going on with COVID, what's going on in his life right now, what is happening with his preparation for the Inner Geekdom tournament. All of that we're going to touch on with Kalinowski. We're also going to have some, conversations about what it's like to be quarantined with your lady for quite some time. We'll see how he and Shannon have been dealing with, and maybe we'll get an appearance from Shannon as well in this one. And don't forget, later on today, 4 o'clock live, Game Time is there with a special guest, Jen Decker. She joins me and Winston to talk about some sports for a couple hours, the NFL, the NBA, the MLB stuff. She knows a lot about the MLB and what's going on there. So we're going to get educated and schooled by Jen Decker about what's going on with the Major League Baseball situation. So that will be going live at 4 p.m. PT today. And one last thing here, or a couple last things here, just to let you know, my new show here that I'm doing called Ask the Outlaw. It's essentially a mailbag show. I'm only doing it once a month, but it is open to patrons to submit questions at the $5 and above level. Everyone can watch it. It's an open show for everyone to watch. But to submit a question, you have to join the Outlaw Nation Patreon, at least at the $5 level, and you can submit questions every month, and I will pick the best 8 to 9 questions, or 8 to 10 questions to answer on the show. That's a lot of fun. And one more thing, big announcement here, the Geek Buddies. You guys know I do that show with Michael Vogel and Shannon McClung. We are going live this week for the first time ever on Thursday, June 25th at 2 p.m. PT. Come join us live. Ask us all kinds of geeky questions as we cover our geeky news topics of the week. We'll bring people in live to ask questions, and we'll answer your Streamlabs and your Super Chats live on the show. All right. That's everything I got going on, Alex.
So 1,000,001 awesome things. Guys, if you're not watching some of these other stuff, do yourself a favor. It's a fun time.
Please, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Alex. You're very, very kind. All right, let's jump into our next one. Let's see what we got next on the scenario. Oh yeah, here we go. This might be a little bit controversial. I think we're entering into the controversial section of Mornings with the Outlaw, as Alex and I have two different opinions on a couple of these stories. And the first one is Stranger Things 4. Ooh. Stranger Things 4. A bunch of updates were released over the weekend and on Friday. Matt and Ross Duffer promising that there'll be more exciting guest stars for season 4 of Stranger Things right there on Netflix. They announced that all of the scripts for season 4 were officially complete on their Twitter. They posted a stack of scripts there and said Stranger Things 4, the complete season. So certainly they finished all the scripts. They were set to begin production early in March of this year, but it was delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. We did see a little bit of a teaser trailer showing us that Hopper did survive season 3. There are already rumors that Hopper is a clone, that it's not really Hopper, that he's in the upside down in some strange way. So many things going on here. But one of the things that I enjoyed about these news items that broke over the weekend about Stranger Things 4 is this conversation about guest stars. They said that the Duffer Brothers said that there will be more guest stars coming up in season 4. They haven't announced any of these guest stars just yet, maybe because they haven't gotten into production fully yet, and maybe there are scheduling stuff they might have to work around. But before, in season 2, we had Sean Astin, who's been in Lord of the Rings, and Paul Reiser, who was in Aliens. They were in the cast. And then season 3 had Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride. And there we had Matthew Modine, another great 80s actor in the first season. And then, of course, Winona Ryder, a fantastic 80s actress all through this show. So who do you see when you look at this situation? Do you think, are you excited about this? Because the Duffer Brothers said, quote, "We have a couple of cool ones this year. Yeah. It's a really fun way to meet one of your icons, right apart for them and see if they want to do it." So certainly that's a way to get to these icons. But Alex, are you a Stranger Things fan? Do you like this show and do you like their guest stars?
I like a lot of the guest stars. I love Carrie Elwes. I love what's his name? He's been on a handful of indie comedies. Brett Gelman, I thoroughly enjoy. Sean Astin, I mean, come on, is Sean Astin the Goonies, Lord of the Rings? I mean, he's fantastic. I just never really got into the show. I tried getting into it a few times. I haven't seen any third, second, whatever season. I saw maybe 2 or 3 episodes from the first season. I was like, not for me, whatever. And that's totally fine. I love that other people love it, and I love what it does. I love these sci-fi films and this alternate dimension kind of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
And I really love a lot of aspects. You know, the monsters are really cool. And the cameos. I mean, I'm all about it. So I feel bad. Like it's a formula for something I should really love, but I don't. So, but what are you gonna do? But again, I love that other people like you love it. So.
Right. Is it just the vibe of it? Is it the actors? Is it just the overall supernatural sci-fi approach to it that you just don't connect to?
I'm not entirely sure because I loved it.
Okay.
I loved
it is great.
which is very similar, you know, being in that kind of, you know, sci-fi fantasy, you know, with like themes of horror, you know, coming of age situation, and a lot of some of the similar actors.
Yeah.
But you know, I just don't know. It just didn't grab me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know. So I like what some people said in the chat here. This idea of Schwarzenegger and Stallone showing up to be guest stars.
Oh my gosh! Can
in
you
season
imagine?
4.
Dan, you might have made me just start watching this show. Like if they guarantee that, I'll binge watch it. Like, I don't care if I wouldn't really like it. I would be like, you know what, Stallone, Arnie.
I'd be down with that. Maybe you get Chuck Norris to come off the shelf there. Maybe you get Ernie Hudson from the Ghostbusters, him to be a guest star. There's so many 80s properties you can explore to have some fun with, certainly to be guest stars on the show. And certainly, like you said, we're in certain great 80s films that a lot of people love, like The Goonies. I don't, but you do. You could have Short Round come back from Temple of Doom. Maybe that actor could come back and be a cameo as at least. And certainly there are a number of actresses as well from the 80s that could jump in there. I mean, what if you get Sarah Jessica Parker, for God's sakes? You know, she was a big thing in the 80s. Fred Savage mentions J. Scott for real. That would be fantastic. Bill Murray, says Dan Layson. That's another one. Maybe Christian Slater certainly made his bones in the late 80s, early 90s. That could be a fun situation. But I think he's pretty busy with stuff he's doing over there in USA. I like this. Ryan Payne says, get Eddie Murphy, then we'll talk. No way Eddie is doing Stranger Things 4. No offense. You can get Arsenio Hall. I don't think you can get Eddie. That's for damn
Oh, my
sure.
gosh. If they had Eddie.
It'd be game over. Yeah, there you go. We'll see. And we'll see. Michael Biehn is a great idea. Yeah, Michael Biehn, you know, I love what? You know, have you ever seen Terminator? That's Michael Biehn.
No.
What? You've never seen Terminator? I've changed cinema bias to where we're going to watch Terminator.
No. I've seen T2.
He's not in T2.
I know.
Have you seen The Abyss? Have you seen The Abyss?
I've seen parts of The Abyss. That's the James Cameron one, right?
With Ed Harris? James Cameron one, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at there. I'm just going to leave it there before we get too deep. Ralph Macchio could be fun. That could, I mean, he's certainly, if
oh my gosh, that's doable.
Right? It's doable.
Really incredibly doable, especially with the huge popularity of Cobra Kai.
Yeah. All right. Cobra Kai and possibly coming over to Netflix. We shall see from YouTube Premium. Someone mentioned Mr. T. Arkamo. I love that idea. It's a great suggestion. I love this idea from Andrew Valdez. Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates is still around. Still, you know, she's Kevin. Of course, she was. You know, she got married to Kevin Kline. Eventually, walked away from acting, doing her own thing. Would be great to bring Phoebe Cates back. She's a great choice. I love that idea.
Yes, Andrew, my dude, you just won. You just won this. I love that.
Ronnie just called you anyone, Alex. You've never seen Terminator? Oh.
I'm sorry, but you know, movie biases. I never really cared about it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Alex has a lot of homework to do, and there will be an exam. Oh, whoa! There you go. Well, we shall see. Oh, I like this. This is perfect. Betty White. Somebody transcends decades. Absolutely, Betty White would be a great choice. But I think she'd take you out of the show. I think she'd take you out of the show overall.
Oh my gosh!
Was there anyone? Was there anyone who was a rival for Winona Ryder in the 80s? I was thinking to myself, like, was there a female rival to Winona Ryder in the 80s? That would be fun to kind of explore that, to bring her in.
Yeah, I don't know. Ryder didn't get really big until the late 80s, I feel like. Maybe 88, 89.
Yeah. So I wonder.
You know, with like Mermaids, she did
Heathers
in like, what, 91? I want to say?
Yeah, Heathers is 91. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of just 90s actresses that kind of look like her.
Maybe Heathers is 89 actually, because they just had the 30th anniversary. Remember interviewing the writer last year at Collider.
If it's a 30th anniversary.
89. Yeah.
Oh, Oh, I stand corrected. Oh.
It'd be great if they brought in Christian Slater to be kind of countering Winona and kind of giving those Heathers vibes. That'd be fun as hell.
Yeah, that would be funny. That really would be.
Oh, that's the choice. Jennifer Grey, of course, Tim Franco. Great suggestion. Jennifer Grey would be perfect. You know who she is, right?
No.
Dirty Dancing?
I haven't seen that either. I
appreciate Alex being on the show for as long as she was. It was great to have her.
And I swear.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh yeah. Leah Thompson from Back to the Future. You've seen Back to the Future.
Yes. That's it's not my jam.
Wow.
It's not the peanut butter to my jelly sandwich.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
But it's fine. It's fine.
These are all great choices here from Ryan Payne, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, Demi Moore. Certainly possible.
Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy, I can absolutely see that happening. I saw her once at the airport. We were waiting in line.
Oh yeah. Did you say anything?
She is stunning. Just saying.
Ali Sheedy? Yeah.
Oh no, Molly Ringwald.
Oh, Molly Ringwald. Right. All right. Respect.
Yeah, we were waiting in line at the airport. What is it called when you come back from international in that area, like the TSA area?
Customs.
Customs. Yes, we were in line waiting for customs, and she was all bougie AF with her hat and her big scarf and she had like a fur shawl thing on.
That's actresses. That's actresses. There's no way that's happening, Ryan Payne. Though it's a nice suggestion. But there's no way Sean Young is happening.
I think. What could have happened with her?
But I think, Tim, your choice for Jennifer Grey is the right choice. Did you ever see Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah.
That's Jennifer Grey. It's his sister.
Yeah.
His sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I'm familiar.
Oh, you are now. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize it was I never really thought about her name, but I recognize her. I was like Ferris Bueller. I mean, I loved that movie growing up. It's a movie I feel like doesn't entirely age well upon reflection, which is interesting.
Oh, okay, all right.
And also, I feel like that's a whole thing right there, though.
Okay. Well, Eric Stevenson sent in a super chat. He said, Stranger Things should have been an anthology rather than staying with the same kids. I liked season 3, but the kids already look too old for the show. Well,
I can see that.
Yeah, and that may be the point of the next season, and that's a great point, Eric. Is they're too old or what have you? Because it was kind of weird to see them kissing each other. It was like, oh, stop it, you're too young. It was just all strange.
They're not too young.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, when was your first kiss?
We're not getting into that. It's not that kind of show. It ain't that kind of show.
I'm just saying. No one has their first kiss at 17 years old.
They're
at the right
do.
age.
Some people do.
Okay, sure.
You know, in the nerd world, some people haven't kissed somebody until they're 25.
I don't think you're giving us nerds enough credit, my dude.
I'm not saying what's this us nerd stuff. We nerds. I know my people. I know some.
I know my people. But I mean, they're at the age where it's on point to me, but. Yeah,
no, I respect it. They're going, hi-oh. They're going through Stranger Things.
It's almost like it's symbolic.
I am. I don't deny. It's not being a prude. It's just that when you watch someone, it's like how people freaked out when Maisie Williams was having sex in Game of Thrones. Yeah, people freaked out about that. When you see someone go from younger into older, it's weird to kind of see them get
her in particular. It was kind of a sexist thing as well, but it is kind of, I can understand the idea that we've seen this girl grow up from when she was 11 years old from season 1 all the way to because by the time she finished it she was in her early 20s. So obviously come on guys. Mia
Sarah's a nice choice. She's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well. Let's see who else.
She's so beautiful. Oh, I loved her.
There's no way that's happening, Secular, but I appreciate your suggestion.
As long as maybe if he donated big hands.
Yeah. Hoo-ha.
And it's a Diet Coke.
This one here, Secular Emilio Estevez would be interesting. I could totally see that. Let's see. Oh, someone said Drew Barrymore. Andrew McCarthy. Tim Franco says Andrew McCarthy. And yeah, all right, there we go. All right, those are all great suggestions. And thank you all so much for being a part of that. That's some really great suggestions. There got over 200 y'all watching us live. Please hit that like button here. We're at 113 likes. Would like to start marching towards 150 likes. Also, send in your super chats in the Streamlabs. It's been kind of light today. I think we're doing a great show. So come in, send in some support for the Outlaw Nation. Send in some support for me and Alex Shashek, please.
Tell me what I need to watch. Test me.
There you go.
Test me, please.
There you go. Test her. Absolutely. You said there's homework.
For the first time like a week ago. So, I'm a cinephile now.
Oh.
And Sound of Music. I saw that for the first time this week too. So call me a cinephile.
Well, you have one on me. I've never seen that musical. I don't know if I'll ever see that musical.
My mom would wait, which one?
The Sound of Music. It's not really
gotcha.
It's not really my jam.
My mom was named after Maria from West Side Story. So
Respect.
my mom was
Respect. Wow, I love that. All right, let's move on to our next story. Speaking of Netflix, Da 5 Bloods. I finally saw it over the weekend. Yesterday, actually, on Sunday, sat down for about 3 hours and watched this thing. It's a 2.5 hour watch for sure. But yeah, it took me 3 hours because you get drinks, you get food and stuff like that. But anyway, there's the story that was popped off on a number of websites here talking about what the cast was originally supposed to be versus what versus the cast that we got. And by the way, this is not to compare and contrast and feel like the cast that we did get wasn't good. We got a great cast here. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, here's a little a synopsis of it. The film tells the story of 4 Vietnam veterans who returned to the small Southeast Asian nation of Vietnam for the first time since the war ended. The Bloods, their friends, Delroy Lindo, Clark Peters, Norm Lewis, and Isaiah Whitlock Jr. are the Bloods. They're careful to tell outsiders that they have returned to Vietnam in order to find and bring the remains of the 5th Blood, Stormin Norman, who is played by Chadwick Boseman in flashback, back to the United States. However, they're also there to recover a substantial number of gold bars they discovered and hid decades earlier during wartime. But of course, everything does not go as planned. And you see there, that's the cast right there, along with Jonathan Majors, who plays Delroy Lindo's son, who comes along for the trip as well. Jonathan Majors was fantastic in Last Black Band in San Francisco. And 2 of the cast members are alumni of The Wire, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. and Clark Peters. Right. So great to see them in the film as well. But Giancarlo Esposito, you all know him from numerous things. Hey, he could show up. He's from Do the Right Thing. That's in the 80s. Put him in Stranger Things 4.
He improves everything he's in. He's just
for sure.
He's Giancarlo Esposito. I mean,
yeah. We were watching a little bit of Usual Suspects last night. My girlfriend goes, "Oh my God, he's so young!" When she saw Giancarlo in that movie, so he pops up in another things. We was doing an interview with Collider, and he spoke about who had originally been set to star in the 5 Bloods. He was apparently one of those people, and Giancarlo Esposito was in a number of early Spike Lee films, so it wouldn't be a surprise to see him pop up in this one. For those who've seen Do the Right Thing, he's bugging out. Samuel L. Jackson was rumored, Denzel Washington was rumored, and then Washington's real-life son, John David Washington, who of course is now the lead in Tenet, he was rumored as well. Giancarlo said, "It was me and Samuel Jackson, Denzel Washington, Denzel's son. I just love and adore Spike Lee and the messages that he created in his films that are so powerful and strong, and also because the cast he was talking to at that time. But it didn't work out for any of us because the shoot got pushed and Spike was wanting everyone to be there and the whole time overseas when he shot it. And I was still shooting Better Call Saul and was juggling that with The Godfather of Harlem. So it didn't work out. It was so hard for me not to be able to do that film." So Alex, have you seen this one yet? Did you enjoy it? What's your
I haven't seen the entire thing. I saw maybe a little more than a quarter of it. And then I had to take a break because I was like, this is a lot going on.
It is a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Not a bad
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah. No, I mean, for what I saw, I was like, it's great. I mean, it was just like some movies I feel like I had to take a break from. Like I couldn't watch Get Out in its entirety all at once.
Yeah.
I had to take a break because I was like, oh, I can't. I just when you walk away and you're like, I can't. So it took me like a few attempts to be like, no, I have to watch this. I have to watch this. I need it. I know it, but yeah, so similar with this movie. So I haven't seen the entire thing. I watched a little more than a quarter, like I mentioned, but what I did notice is that, is that the de-aging in this is really, really awesome. Just saying, it's really great. Yeah. I really enjoyed it personally. But also I am actually kind of glad they didn't put more well-known actors in it. Yeah. Just because I feel like personally, it might have taken away from the story a little bit, like if Betty White just cameoed in Stranger Things, I would be like, that's Betty White. I wouldn't think to myself, oh, that's going to be this cool neighbor lady that casually has monsters in a basement or something. I'm not going to think that. I'd be entirely thinking, Betty White. So it would take away from the story. So if I saw like Denzel Washington with his son, John David Washington, on screen together as, I feel like that, or Giancarlo Esposito, I feel like would be fine. I feel like it would have taken me out of the movie. And I feel like going into this, I feel like it's even though the actors, they do shine, Chadwick Boseman is pretty fantastic. Right. But at the same time, it focuses on the story. Yeah. More than anything. It's not about the actors' gravitas, so to speak. So
yeah. I don't disagree with you at all. I think the way they cast this worked out perfectly for the story they were going to tell. Plus, Spike was on a limited budget here. I wanted to do it for a short, but even though it looks gorgeous and the fight scenes are pretty extensive, he was able to get so much for so little. And then you get these great, strong actors who've been incredible in other pieces and have all been in films a number of times. And Delroy Lindo, of course, was in Malcolm X as well, has been in a number of Spike Lee films. He's a fantastic, awesome, strong actor who doesn't get enough work, doesn't get enough love from people. So it was great to see him kind of take the emotional lead on this film. And of course, Clark Peters Jr., seeing him pop up in a number of things like The Wire, and Isaiah Whitlock Jr. being part of this. So all of them were great. If you cast the bigger actors, I think it would have been hard to release it on Netflix, first of all. And second of all, you might be taken out of the movie, as you said, Alex, seeing Denzel fight with his son, seeing Samuel L. Jackson be a part of it. It would have been a little too big. And the thing about the Black Soldier story in Vietnam is that they never got as much credit as they should have gotten. They never got as much recognition, as notoriety as they should have gotten. I think if you cast these big name actors, it could have taken that vibe away from the film. Now having these actors that maybe some of you aren't that really aware of, or those of us who've loved them for quite some time get to enjoy their work there, you get that vibe that these are guys that feel like they've been kind of forgotten. And so it's great to see them kind of step forward and carry the film as strongly as they do.
Yeah, I mean, because I have a friend of mine, he came on C2A a while ago, talking about the importance of Black cinema. Now these actors, they're not unknown actors.
No, they're not.
So I just want to clarify. So obviously, when I say that I feel like they might distract from the story. That's not what I'm saying. It's just
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like Delroy Lindo, he's hugely like popular within what I've been told is like, overall like Black cinema. Sure. Obviously been in so many different movies, ranging from not only Malcolm X to Get Shorty, Ransom, Core. I mean, a bunch of movies, but also Jonathan Majors, Clark Peters, Norm Lewis, these Isaiah Whitlock Jr. I mean, they're not Denzel Washington, obviously. Like I said, right. I feel like if you put someone like him in, it would it would be shot off to another level. Mm-hmm. But like to focus on these smaller actors, it really makes it a lot better, honestly. Yeah, just let me focus on what's really going on with the story.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Also, Chadwick Boseman, he's fantastic though.
Oh, I'll say it again.
Chadwick Boseman, he's fantastic.
Yeah, Boseman's good in the film. I'll be dropping a review for this one certainly sometime later tomorrow for the channel for sure. I've been catching up on all these things. I will not watch Artemis Fowl. So don't look for that review. Don't look for that review anytime
Maybe
soon.
What about like a drunken review, or like a watch along where
I would do a watch along,
or where you're just like clearly you're having fun with it, or you're just like making fun of it the entire time.
Yeah, that's
like
a possibility.
Dench. I mean, great job. I love her. She's just having a grand old time, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's one way to put it for sure. All right, Ryan Payne, then got a super chat here. He said, Alex, let's be real. You're not going to watch anything I suggest. LOL. I love
you. Ryan.
True. Let's see. We got one more that rolled through here. I think it was a Streamlabs. Yes, two of them actually. Andrew G said, how do you feel about Mad Max Fury Road? I loved it when I saw it in theaters. Watched last night and didn't love it as much. Would you want to see this Furiosa prequel that's apparently coming, or rather see what happens later? I'd rather see a sequel. What about you, Alex?
I kind of agree. I do feel like I would love to see a sequel. Prequel, not as much, but just because I love Charlize Theron. I love what she was able to do with the role. It
Yeah.
was so great. I mean, I was just arguing with my brother yesterday while we were barbecuing that he was just like, he was talking about, yeah, Tom Hardy's the main part of that movie. And I was like, no. Charlize Theron is the main person in that movie.
Yeah.
Tom
Hardy is not the main person in the movie.
Yeah,
no.
he is not the main character of that movie. But no matter if you Google him, clearly he's not the main character. But when it comes to this potential prequel, I mean, I'll go see it. I love George Miller. I mean, to me, he can do no wrong. This is his world. He's directed all of them, as far as I know. Yeah. And I trust him in whatever direction we were going to go into. I just love, what she's done. Charlize Theron has done with the role of Furiosa. She's phenomenal. And not to mention, I haven't seen her in any kind of action adventure or anything like that I haven't loved.
Right.
So I'm psyched.
Yeah.
Psyched.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. That's so, I don't know. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I like it a lot. I still go back and watch it. I have the black and white version, that the Chrome edition or what they call it.
Yes.
So I enjoy it. I think she's great. I don't want to see a prequel. I'd rather see a sequel for sure. Because who's going to capture Charlize Theron? Nobody can capture Charlize Theron. So good luck trying to. And they're talking to Anya Taylor-Joy. Good luck. I know. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is a damn good actress and fantastic in multiple genres. Yeah. But no one is capturing the essence of Charlize Theron fully. And so I think you have to do a sequel, in my opinion, or de-age her and do a prequel. I'd be down with that. I'm okay with that if you want to.
She doesn't need to be de-aged. She is just immortal. She looks true now than she did 25 years ago.
You're not wrong. I can't argue that. Yeah.
Devil's advocate. Hey, girl.
Yeah, true. So. She's beautiful in that film. Andrew G also sent another super chat or Streamlabs. Right? He said, "What sequel that hasn't been done or probably won't be done because the first film's underperforming that you would love to see?" Mine's a continuation of Andrew Stanton's John Carter with Gods of Mars and Warlord of Mars. I love that film and book. Yeah, Alex, is there a film that underperformed that you were hoping would do better, but we're never going to get a sequel for it because it didn't do well?
Yeah, Constantine.
Okay. Yeah, great choice.
I love Constantine. That movie it's so weird and I love it. And it's visually, I think it holds up visually. The story is fantastic. Not to mention, I really love Keanu Reeves. He's, being in that role more than anything, it's kind of perfect for him.
Yeah,
I loved all the characters. Heck, I even loved Gwen Stefani's ex-husband in it. I thought that was I love Shia LaBeouf in it. And Tilda Swinton. I mean, Tilda Swinton can do no wrong. So I would have loved to see that sequel happen. Mm-hmm. I know it's not going to happen, but a girl can dream.
True. I got two for me. It's Master and Commander, which I thought was an incredible film. And they just didn't do enough box office wise to merit bringing them back. Because there's like 20 of those novels based on those two characters that Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany play in that movie. And it's certainly a film that's a favorite of the top 10 show. We talk about it all the time. And I wish they'd gotten a sequel to that. Another one is Dredd. Dredd was so good with Carl Urban as Judge Dredd in the movie. I saw it in 3D, and I remember just losing my mind watching in the theater in 3D. It is such a damn good film starring Lena Headey. She's in the film.
You mean it's not Headey?
It's not. No, it's not Headley. Is what my answer was.
I know.
Maybe it's Headey.
Headey?
It's Headey. I suppose. Maybe it's Headey.
I've
heard it both ways. If it's Elba and Alba's okay, then Headey and Headey's okay. But yeah, this is that's a film that I think deserved a sequel for sure, and unfortunately didn't do as well. So we're never going to get one. Even though Carl Urban keeps saying in every interview he's asked about it that he'd absolutely come back and do a sequel or a TV series based on the film. So that would be great.
I heard there were whispers of Netflix possibly making it into like a mini series.
Yeah,
I know that's not going to happen. But again, a girl can dream.
A girl can dream.
I would love to see that. Not to mention the drugs and everything that were introduced in that show, in that movie. That was weird. And
that's a. Do you remember what the drug was called?
No, man, I'm not a competitor.
Oh, you're a manager.
I helped train them. But Ryan, my dude, you're in the chat. Ryan Payne. Help me out. Tell me.
Is he one of your? Is he one of your?
He is.
Okay.
This is a mixed bag question. You have a match coming up, my dude.
All right.
What is the drug you said?
What is he? What did he say?
I don't
Ryan,
know.
slow-mo. Yes, it is. Good job,
See?
Ryan. Good job,
boy.
Ryan. Slow-mo, absolutely. Yeah, some people in there. Yeah, Andrew Valdez. I know the people. Wait, where are you at there, Andrew Valdez? Yeah, some of the people there. Solo 2, clamoring for a Solo 2. Certainly the Resistance broadcast system. People love that stuff, huh?
I respect that. Yeah.
Make Solo 2 happen. They said that's been a hashtag that's gone through on the internet for sure with the Resistance broadcast people pushing it strongly. So there are a number of films that should have gotten a sequel, didn't quite do well box office wise. It would have been fun. Ben Rader says, I would love a Ready Player 2, a sequel to Ready Player 1. Sure, at some point maybe down the road, but that didn't do as well. And there are some people who actually hate that movie, which is
I know
really weird to me. I don't know if people hate them. I get not liking it, but hate it? That's kind of weird to me.
That movie is so impressive to me that it was actually made.
Like,
I feel like no one other than Steven Spielberg could direct it just because the book is so focused on Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like considering everything involved in order to make the movie what it is, feels almost impossible when you pitch it, you know? And I'm like, whoo, give those guys a bonus or something.
That's a fair point. All right, let's move on to our last show. I don't see any more Streamlabs or Super Chats that have come through. Keep sending them in, guys. We got a few more minutes left in the show. Would love to answer them for you all. Let's see. Our last story here is, this is the one that we're going to battle about right here. That's right. Hamilton. It just released. You want to take this one, Alex?
Do I want to take this one? I'll sing this pitch if I need to. Okay, no, just kidding. Okay, so Hamilton, if you're not familiar with the huge Broadway sensation known as Hamilton, that's totally awesome, and you might be sleeping under a rock. So Hamilton is a story of the real life account of one of America's founding fathers. Also, Alexander Hamilton, who was the first Secretary of the Treasury, and it was a huge sensation when it hit Broadway. It was almost completely done, written, acted in, directed by Miranda. So I'm really kind of excited to see this actually go through to Disney. Now, more than ever, it's a very important movie because the movie is about pretty much an immigrant from the Caribbean, a white immigrant from the Caribbean and he comes to the U.S. in order to rise above his station, essentially, and craziness ensues with the Revolutionary War. He ends up becoming the not press secretary, but one of the direct secretary to Washington, and everything that went on at the time. His whole relationship and weird friendship with Aaron Burr, for example, it's just really awesome to see. And not to mention the music is really fantastic. And I know people that have never even heard of the musical at all, but some reason they know some of the songs. Yeah. My mom included. And so it's really exciting to see this come to Disney, honestly.
Yeah, they said it burst into the report on this thing. Hamilton burst into theaters in 2015, tells the story of U.S. founding father Alexander Hamilton and touches on themes including immigration, the War of Independence, and America's financial system. It won the 2016 Pulitzer Prize for drama and earned 11 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Daveed Diggs, who a lot of people are getting into as an actor and a portrayer and entertainer, said he portrayed Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in the production. He was terrified about the musical being released on Disney Plus. He said, I've never seen myself do that. It's still the thing that most people talk to me about that I've done. One of the only reasons I can stand that kind of attention is that I haven't seen it. At some point, I'm going to be forced to watch it and actually deal with my own feelings about this. And so that is complicated for me. This trailer dropped. It was about 60 seconds long. It certainly feels like all they did was film a stage production of this film, of this show. So they didn't necessarily shoot a film. It's not a movie. It's not a movie, which I would have loved to have seen. But it drops on July 3rd. And of course, this was going to be in the theaters, but in October of 2021. But they opted to release it early on the subscription service of Disney Plus in order to kind of cater to the fans and what have you. So I am not a Hamilton fan. I don't like
Awesome.
that. I don't like that Def Jam talking stuff. It just isn't my jam at all. Never has been. And I tried to watch that show, the Def Poetry Jam, when it used to be on HBO, I think, or BET. I can't remember who it was on, but it was never my thing. And so watching or listening to the songs, I just, it does nothing for me. And I'm one of those rare people that it does nothing for. That being said, though, I'm a massive fan of history. I'm a massive fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda and the positivity spreads in the world, especially on his social media. And I want to see what they do with this production. So I've only heard the songs, Alex, like you're probably like you just mentioned your mother. I've only heard the songs outside the context of the show. So maybe if I watch the whole film production, the songs will make sense and affect me differently than just listening to them outside of the show. So this trailer is a good way to get you excited. 60-second trailer is all they need, just enough. People are going to watch this thing. You want to watch this thing. And I'll certainly review it when it comes out on July 3rd, which is only, like 2 weeks away.
Yes.
So that's exciting to know as well. So a lot of people are down to see this thing, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll be out of town when it happens, but I'll definitely find some time to watch it for sure. Say hello to your cat there. How's it going?
That is an aggressive, what is that?
You don't like Hamilton? Row?
I think honestly, that might be it, honestly. Okay, so I totally understand where you're coming from. It's when it comes to this kind of musical style, you either love it or you hate it. And that's totally, I totally get, people can be wrong sometimes with their opinions. I get it.
Wow, my dude. My dude.
I have horrible opinions about movies as well. Some movies, not all my opinions are trash, but some of my movies about some movies are not great. But that's totally fine. That makes it that much more interesting.
True.
When it comes to this one in particular, I think it's now more than ever, it's a huge one. Not to mention Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's definitely been involved, with Disney for a little bit now. He was involved as Jack on Mary Poppins Returns. He was the composer, lyricist behind Moana. Yeah. He's also going to be the director and acting in the upcoming musical In the Heights. That's supposed to be, I think it was pushed back to next year. Or something. I'm not entirely sure. But, he's definitely in a really good relationship with Disney Plus, with Disney in general right now. Right. So I'm not surprised that Disney came forward and was like, hey, we want to do this. I am very excited that they decided to do with the regular stage musical rather than film a regular movie musical. Yeah. I would have loved to see either.
Sure.
But I think also the stage, what they did with the stage as well is really great. I mean, you're going to see for yourself the way they use the sets and everything is really cool. It's really interesting. And you had maybe a glimmer of it in the teaser, but there's so much that kind of goes on behind the scenes for it. But yeah, I'm really excited to see it really happen. I saw it once at my local theater and I bawled my eyes out rather aggressively, snot up and down my sleeves. Wow. I was like, it was not cute. But I'm excited for, that whole same situation to happen with this one. Now, also what I am kind of excited about really more than anything is that they are actually bringing back the original cast. So Leslie Odom as well, Lin-Manuel Miranda, obviously, as well as, Renee Elise Goldsberry, I think that's how you pronounce it. But, a lot of the original actors, because a lot of them actually have, as a direct, Daveed Diggs as well. Yes, they're not huge stars, but definitely they're getting a lot more attention from Hollywood as a result from the popularity of Hamilton's success. And it still sells out till this day. So I'm really excited to see this really, really kind of go out. Sorry, you can hear my cat still.
I like it. Your cat is standing for cats. It's like, no, cat is the musical.
My cat has opinions. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
I love it.
I block him in a room. He cats himself out somehow. I don't know. I will try to figure it out. I promise.
That's all right. This is breaking news here. Haskell 420 kind of hit me to it, so I just looked it up real quick while you were talking. Variety is reporting that Cobra Kai Season 3 moves to Netflix ahead of its premiere. Under the terms of the deal, this is Cobra Kai's leaving YouTube Premium to go to Netflix. Under the terms of the deal, the first 2 seasons of the series will be available on Netflix later this year. The premiere date for Season 3 will be announced at a later date. So There's no they just released a statement saying how the appeal of Karate Kid is timeless. And this is not the first time they tried to move it to Netflix. They tried to do it before season 2 as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what's happening here. They moved all 3 of the seasons to Netflix, and season 3, they haven't announced a start date yet, but they will at some point down the road. So I think it's a perfect place for it to go, Cobra Kai on Netflix. And maybe even on Netflix, it can go even deeper into a little bit more of the harder edges as it goes season per season. That could be fun to explore for it as well. So excited for all the cast of Cobra Kai for season 3 going to Netflix. And William Zabka tweeted out, apparently Cobra Kai has a new dojo. That's awesome. So there you go. Congratulations to them. All right, Alex, let's wrap things up here and head on out the road and let people go on with the rest of their days here on a Monday. Thank you all so much for watching us. We had 250 y'all, 260 y'all watching us, 141 likes. Let's get over 150 likes before we wrap up this show. Please, Alex, where can they find you and what you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter right down here.
Boom.
Right there. Over also at the Call to Action podcast right there. We do a bunch of stuff. We're actually going to be having Sabrina Ramirez to interview here later tonight. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're also having Laura Kelly here very soon. So we have a bunch of really great people coming up. But just follow me on Twitter. I post GIFs a lot of times and let you know what movies I will try to watch. I saw Citizen Kane for the first time because Rocha was like, I will kick you off the show if you don't watch this movie. And I'm like, fine.
That never happened. That never happened.
Fine. So, there's a lot of movie polls I post on Twitter, so definitely check them out. Yeah, there you go. Go follow her there. Give her some love, ladies and gentlemen, please. And of course, follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram below, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Keep building the channel up and making it stronger and stronger. I want to get to that 15,000 subscribers mark as soon as possible and marching on to 20,000 there as well. Don't forget all the great shows we got coming up all this week. And of course, later on today, 2 p.m. PT live. Game time. Jen Sturger, she just texted me. Jen Sturger is going to be on the show, not Jen Decker. Jen Sturger is going to be on the show with me and Winston Marshall. We're going to have a lot of fun talking the NFL, the NBA, and some MLB stuff as well. Talking about that sad situation, Bubba Wallace as well, with the noose outside of his house, and the room and the report that Richard Petty is coming out to walk with Bubba Wallace for his next race. That's pretty incredible show of solidarity there. So a lot's going to be covered on that. It's going to be later on today, 2 p.m. PT Live. Ooh, that's Jay. I'm sorry, wrong person there. Where is she? There she is. But I'll change that down there to say Jen Sturger. She'll be there. And of course, don't forget Geek Buddies coming up live this week on Thursday at 2 p.m. PT as well. And of course, my new show, Ask the Outlaw. It is out there for you to enjoy. And one last thing, if you're a big Schmodown fan, the Ultimate Schmodown Show, the second episode, is up now on the Outlaw Nation Facebook page. That's the only place you can watch it for now, is the Outlaw Nation Facebook page. Go and enjoy Colin Morris, John Barr, and Amarak Bogle talking about all the things going on in the world of Schmodown, previewing what's happening later on this week with the matches, and also talking about Brandon Hanna's quote-unquote managerial skills. All of that is covered on the Ultimate Schmodown Show. Those guys really picked it up from the first episode to the second episode. It's like night and day. They really found the rhythm, and it's a fun episode. So please, if you're looking for a new Schmodown show to dive into, give that one a shot over there on the Outlaw Nation Facebook page. All right, that's it from me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a fun Monday. For Alex Shashek, I'm John Rocha. We'll see you on Friday for another brand new episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. Take care. Until then. And where am I?